He perceived as an angel in many quarters. He has a troubled history, but that is in the past. He was trying to make good in the moment. And yeah, the peace dance laugh about 3 weeks ago was a step in the right direction. He was a patron at this football competition on Monday, and he and his son met their demise. So we're going to hear, first of all, from the Member of Parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal, Philip Paulwell, speaking on that tour of Pleasant Heights today, where the Prime Minister and National Security Minister turned up to give him some support.
Came as a shock to us. I became aware of the football competition last Thursday when I was asked to assist with procuring prizes for the winning teams. And I was totally devastated when I heard the news yesterday of the killing of the 5 and the injuries sustained by a number of other persons who were attending this football presentation. It's been a while since the community has come together in the way it did yesterday. It's amazing that in this little space, you do have turf on almost every corner. And what we've been trying to do is to break that down, to let people be able to move freely, especially the elderly and the children, and for the communities to come back together as one.
Those deceased, of the 5 men killed, 4 have been identified by the police. Ortavia Austin, 51 years old, his son, 29-year-old Okiro Austin, 32-year-old O'Dane Joseph, otherwise called Bones, and 38-year-old Rosrick Thomas, otherwise called Tenil. The 5th man is yet to be identified by the authorities. So a father and his son among the 5 cut down as they watched the football match in Rockfort in East Kingston on Heroes Day. More after this break here on Lead Story.
Hi everyone, my name is Kurt Dunn.
Greetings from Kelly's Kelly Yoga.
Hey, it's Travin Morrison, and I am your National Physical Activity Specialist. And it's time to make a move.
Jamaica, let's get moving again. Season 2 of the Ministry of Health and Wellness Jamaica Move series is here. Join us Wednesdays at 5 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on CVM TV. Let's get moving.
Make a move now. What's your story? What's your sign? Dreamers. Hear what other people say. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive. We come alive. We come alive. We're doing this in our own way. We come alive.
Welcome back to Lead Story here on this Tuesday. We're talking about a bloody Heroes Day in parts of the island, nowhere more so than in Rockfort in East Kingston, the constituency East Kingston and Port Royal, where 5 men were shot and killed as they enjoyed a football competition in Rockfort, a part of the community known as Pleasant Heights formerly Warwick Hills. Now, the superintendent in charge of the East Kingston Police is Tommy Lee Chambers, and yesterday was a virtual cascade of emotions for her, because earlier on Heroes Day, she was at the National Arena to walk on stage and collect from the Governor General her award for meritorious service. She was awarded a National Honor on Heroes Day for meritorious service. And hours later, she was at a crime scene where 5 men were shot and killed in her community, in the division under her command at the Jamaica Constabulary Force. She spoke with members of the media today as they followed officials on a tour of Pleasant Heights.
Come together to have a friendly football competition. At the end of the competition, base one team, they won the first prize. So they were here awaiting their first prize. However, they see it fit to have a spelling bee competition and also a bun eating contest. Whilst they're having fun, a group of men walk up in the crowd and open gunfire at some of the patrons, hitting 7 persons. 5 succumbed and 2 still remain in hospital, not serious. Sir, since then, we have imposed a curfew in the Rockford area. So far, my team have been on the ground. We have been getting support from Area 4 and SO and right across from MID, and they have been inside the area. My team this morning also received information somewhere along in the Rosedale Road area that one person who involved in this situation that occurred yesterday, and they went on an operation, and we had a fatal and a firearm also recovered. We will continue to pursue, sir, and no stone will be left unturned. What is happening here is not something that we are accustomed to in the Kingston Eastern Division, and we are not going to sit back and relax and allow any more of this to take place.
Senior Superintendent of Police Tommy Chambers to give her full due, hard at work earlier today on that tour of East Kingston with the Prime Minister, the National Security Minister, and the Member of Parliament, Philip Paulwell. Now, what is true is that Warwicker Hills has been one of the toughest communities to police in the corporate area. As we know, as well as I noted before, they've changed the name of the community to Pleasant Heights, trying to coax some more respect from residents for the spaces they occupy, and of course, respect from persons outside of the community. The peace, Philip Paulwell says, was holding for a spell, but that peace shattered with that incident on Monday. And it comes at a time when the Jamaica Constabulary Force is reporting a significant reduction in homicides year over year. Figures released by the JCF earlier on this Tuesday. Well, actually, those figures were released on Sunday. On Sunday, the figures were released by the JCF, and it showed that between January 1 and October 20 this year, 918 Jamaicans were murdered. That's a 19.3% decline when compared to the corresponding period in 2023. Now, what is true is that if the numbers were going in the opposite direction, if there was a 19.3% spike in homicides, people would be screaming from their verandas that the world was caving in, the sky was caving in on Jamaica, and you'd hear that we are in a crisis. Fact is that one life lost is still one life too many lost. And 918 people murdered in this country between January 1 and October 20 is, relatively speaking, a significant improvement, a 19.3% improvement over last year, 19.3% fewer people killed, but it is still a huge problem nonetheless. What is true is that we are on pace to register less than 1,000 homicides for the year. But you know, the police always say that whenever they publish these numbers, and these numbers look as if things are going in the right direction, then there's an upsurge in crime, almost as if people believe that there are others who unleash the dogs of terror on the land and cause the homicide rate to spike because they don't want the numbers to fall within what people could reasonably call respectable numbers. I don't know if there are respectable homicide numbers, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. So there are forces, people believe, who deliberately do things to push up the murder numbers so that it can then be said that there is a crisis where crime and violence is concerned, especially on the murder score. So the police are very, very reluctant to publish numbers and to say anything about the numbers because they say they don't want to jinx the trend that they are seeing, which is madness really, because the numbers are the numbers. If the numbers were high, we would report them, we would talk about them, we would opine about them. The numbers are trending in the right direction. On October 20, 918, putting us well within striking range of less than 1,000. We haven't had less than 1,000 homicides in any one year in Jamaica for donkey's years now, and so it would mark a significant achievement, but you get the sense that there are actors who would not want to see that reality materialize. What we'll do now, we'll take the break early, and when we come back, we'll hear from the Prime Minister and the National Security Minister.
Hey you know all the people in your business?
You should take advantage of CVM TV's unbeatable small business advertising package. Trust me.
And get your goods and services in front of your customers today.
For $150,000, you get a high-quality professional commercial.
Plus 20 prime-time commercial spots.
That's massive exposure at a fraction of the cost.
Including on the #1 morning show in Jamaica, Sunrise.
So don't wait. Call us on 658-208-5377 and see your business goals happen right here on CVM Television.
Hi everyone, my name is Kurt Dunn.
Greetings from Kelly's Kelly Yoga.
Hey, it's Robin Morrison, and I am your National Physical Activity Specialist. And it's time to make a move.
Jamaica, let's get moving again. Season 2 of the Ministry of Health and Wellness Jamaica Move series is here. Join us Wednesdays at 5 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on CVM TV. Let's get moving.
Make a move now. When the foot speeds, dance. When the vibe nice.
The time by Grace. Taste that moves you is
6:45.
Welcome back to Lead Story here on CVM TV. It's kind of a somber program, to be fair, because we're talking about the day after a Heroes Day, the day when we awarded those outstanding individuals among us for their outstanding service in their respective fields, and where we reflect on the 7 people who've been accorded hero status so far in the country. And of course, as usual, we debate the credentials of those who should either be added to that list of 7 or should command entry in a new category altogether. But we're talking about murder, and we're talking about murder in light of numbers published by the JCF, which shows that murders have dropped. There's no need to mollycoddle it or to finesse it. Murders have dropped by 19.3% since the start of the year. Between January 1 and October 20, 19.3% fewer people were murdered this year compared to the corresponding period last year. That is a significant achievement by the men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and, to a lesser extent, the Jamaica Defence Force. And it is something to celebrate, but we can't celebrate it because you have incidents that cause you to wonder about the security of us all. Incidents like that which happened in Pleasant Heights, Rockfort in East Kingston on Monday, where a football competition was underway. The people were waiting for the prizes to be handed out, and amid the crowd, gunmen came and they struck. They struck and they struck decisively, deadly force. The reports are that one man was the target of the gunmen's bullets. Octavia Austin, 51 years old, recently returned home from the United States, was in the crowd, and the reports are that the gunmen went for him. They not only killed him, they killed his son, and they killed 3 other men, and they shot and injured at least 2 other people. Children, elderly, men, women running for cover as the bullets rained at that place in Pleasant Heights. Warwicker Hills is the former name of Pleasant Heights, included in case you're wondering, and you know the reputation of that community. Well, the peace was holding in the community for a year shattered on Heroes Day. The National Security Minister, Dr. Chang, was inside the community today, and this is what he had to say to the media.
That expired. Discussion with the acting deputy commissioner for that, we immediately authorized a curfew for the area, which is 48 hours, and the police, of course, took steps to close down the area literally and ensure that there was no one stepping out until they could operationalize their team and find whatever intelligence they could find and seek to identify the perpetrators. They seem to have quickly identified who was involved, and they are now pursuing them as aggressively as they can. And as aggressively as they can. This kind of activity cannot be tolerated in the least, and the police have the full authority to pursue. If the curfew is needed for a longer period, I have the authority to extend it, and I will so do at the request of the commanding officer in this area. At the same time, I had discussions with the acting CDS, who has indicated his full support to the police, and I understand that the JDF supporting team and the police officers and officers from the special operations team of the police were out here last night into this morning to continue to carry out activities to find and apprehend these characters who have carried out this brutal activity in Pleasant Heights. We extend our sympathy to the families who are affected, but we will pursue the perpetrators relentlessly and apprehend them and ensure this kind of thing will not repeat itself in this area and anywhere else.
That's the National Security Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Chang, speaking earlier today out there in Rockfort in East Kingston. Now, the police, well, as I told you at the top of the show, at least one of the suspects behind that killing of 5 in Rockfort on Monday was cut down in an exchange of gunfire, what the police were being told. And earlier today, the police issued a statement confirming that a curfew is now in effect in parts of the Kingston Eastern Division. Let me read that statement for you from the police. It says a 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Pleasant Heights and Oliver Road in Rockfort, Kingston, following the shooting death of 5 persons on Monday, October 21. The curfew, the statement says, began at 8 p.m. on Monday, October 21, and will remain in effect until 8 p.m. on Wednesday, October 23. So it's due to be lifted at 8 o'clock tomorrow, Wednesday, October 23, based on where the investigations are. It is highly likely that the curfew will be extended at least for another couple of days. The boundaries of the curfew, listen carefully because this will affect communities that you may visit. Of course, the people in the communities will have known where the restrictions lie, but if you have business to do, family to visit in Rockfort and you're outside, this may be useful information to you. North along Pleasant Heights Road from the Marl Pit to Hillside Crescent. On the east along an imaginary line from Windward Road, Dowich Road to Hillside Crescent. Along Windward Road from Dowich Road to Oliver Road, and along Oliver Road from Windward Road to the Marl Pit at Pleasant Heights Road. And of course, the usual rules apply. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by a ground commander. So you'll need permission to go to school, to go to work, any medical care. You'll need permission, express permission from the ground commander before you can so move. The Prime Minister was also in Rockfort today, and this is what he said to the media.
Our national security entities have started to, along with MOCA, have started to restructure our operations to deal with this threat of organized, armed criminal violence. We have used the anti-gang legislation, and we are constantly eroding the gangs as much as we can. But we can't wait until we have put together an entire case around a gang. We started out with almost 600 gangs, and we have eroded them now down to, the last time I heard, we were at about 150, and we keep 150 active gangs. We keep eroding them. But the gangs still exist, and at the spur of a moment, they can become brutal and fatal, as we have seen here. So the strategy is to be preemptive as well, in addition to the kind of kinetic operations that we have. Now, in this particular instance, I don't want to comment too much on the specific circumstances, but I note the report of the superintendent here, who said that one of the persons who is suspect to be involved in the shooting, that they met what I would consider to be their just fate if they were involved. And the JCF and the JDF will maintain their posture of being very aggressive but just in how they pursue these persons. And I have said before, when a similar incident like this occurred in Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon, that we will pursue them, and the decision is theirs. Either they meet a judge or they meet their maker. I encourage them to meet a judge. I encourage them as much as possible. But they must be clear in their minds that Jamaica is not going to sit back and allow organized criminals to threaten the security of the nation and destroy the peace of communities. One of the reasons why I'm here with Member of Parliament Caldwell is that, as he would have acknowledged, we have worked very closely to bring peace in this community. And we have had how many months now without shootings?
September, 0 for September,
yes.
And 2 weeks in October.
So we have gone, what, 7 weeks without any shootings.
Okay, so
and the division is doing very well. The last time we spoke, all crimes were down and murders were down. So you have to wonder, why is it that this gang would now do this? Are they not invested in the peace? And obviously the answer is they are not invested in peace. The society now needs to ensure that the criminals are separated from the community so that the police can deal with them effectively.
That's the Prime Minister Andrew Holness speaking in Rockfort in East Kingston earlier today. Now, you know, several parishes across the island with a 19.3% national decline in homicides between January 1 and October 20, as I told you. Some parishes would record a significant, even more significant than that 19.3% national figure, a significant decline in homicides in their respective parishes. St. James reporting a 30% drop, and that's not the only parish to record a significant decline in homicides since the start of the year. And as I said, the tragedy is, you know, that there are actors in the society who will do what they have to make enough duppy between now and the end of the year to scupper any hope of the homicide number being kept under 4 figures. And it's a shame in a country like Jamaica that we can be talking about a 19.3% decline in murders, and there's hardly a murmur. And people are right to be cold towards that, because still people are dying day in, day out. So it's a difficult country to govern, Jamaica, is what I say. We love living here, I love living here, but man, it's difficult to govern, and it's sad. It's sad that our brothers and sisters out enjoying themselves on a public holiday have had to be reconciling now with what happened in Rockfort on Monday, where 5 people were killed, shot down amid a crowd enjoying a football competition. That's my time. I break now for Nika, who has the news at 7.
Fan Central Pitside, brought to you by Edgechem, AIM Financial Corporation, Texaco, and Connex.
Make a move now. Make a move now.
Hi everyone, my name is Kurt Dunn.
Greetings from Cali's Kelly Yoga.
Hey, it's Robin Morrison, and I am your National Physical Activity Specialist. And it's time to make a move.
Jamaica, let's get moving again. Season 2 of the Ministry of Health and Wellness Jamaica Move series is here. Join us Wednesdays at 5 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on CVM TV. Let's get moving.
Make a move now.
Hey you know all the people in your business.
You should take advantage of CVM TV's unbeatable small business advertising package. Trust me.
And get your goods and services in front of your customers today.
For $150,000, you get a high-quality professional commercial.
Plus 20 prime-time commercial spots.
That's massive exposure at a fraction of the cost.
Including on the #1 morning show in Jamaica, Sunrise.
So don't wait. Call us on 658-208-5377 and see your business goals happen right here on CVM Television.
Small business owners and independent contractors get a
Prime Minister tours crime-torn East Kingston community. Also this evening in the Business Report, Fiscal Research Center launched, while in sports defending the Costa Cup champions Clarendon College through to round of 16. This is CVM News at 7. Here is Nika Lewis.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. At the top of this evening, in the past 24 hours, the country has experienced a significant surge in violence, resulting in at least 13 fatalities. This alarming situation includes 3 individuals who were shot by police during various incidents. The Prime Minister, Security Minister, and police officials toured sections of Rockfort in Kingston to assess the situation and address public concerns regarding safety and security. The violence has been reported in multiple locations from Rockfort in Kingston to North Street and Hazard Road in Clarendon. Each of these areas has seen heightened tensions. And still in Rockfort, where we begin, over in Pleasant Heights, where the community was shaken